This is creme brulee without the sugar. Hey guys, I'm Myra from Low Carb Love, and today we are making a creme brulee that is not only sugar-free and low carb, but we're making it dairy-free. So you're gonna be able to use heavy cream or coconut cream, but I'm using coconut cream today. The first thing we're gonna do is heat up our milk. Now, if you are not dairy-free, then you're just gonna use some heavy cream. I'm gonna be using coconut milk. So this is full fat coconut milk. And we're actually just gonna put it right into our pan, our little pot, our saucepan. And as you can tell, it's nice and thick. Guys, I love coconut milk. Like even before I had to cut out heavy cream, I used to love using coconut milk whenever, whenever the recipe actually lends for it, I use it anyway. Then we have our vanilla extract. So vanilla extract is a lot more potent than a vanilla flavor. So if you're using vanilla flavor, you can use a little more, maybe about a teaspoon or so. This here, again, is vanilla extract. So let's go ahead and move over to the stove, and when we're done, I'm gonna show you the next step. Okay, so we're gonna do about a medium heat. Now, we're not boiling the milk. I repeat, this is super important when you're making a creme brulee. You do not wanna boil your milk because then you're gonna end up cooking your eggs. So what the goal here is literally just to get it to a simmer, and I'm gonna show you how you're gonna know when that happens, but you're literally just looking for the little bubbles. So for now, I'm just gonna go ahead and stir occasionally, but I'm gonna show you what it's gonna look like. You're actually gonna see little bubbles appear here on the side. So as you can see, it's starting to bubble there. We're gonna turn off our heat because we don't want it to boil. Okay, so now we're just removing this from the heat, and I'm gonna show you how to temper your eggs. So this is a super important step because of course this is how we're gonna make our cream. Like this is how we're making our custard. So I'm gonna go ahead and set this aside just for 1 minute. What we're gonna do is mix our egg yolks and our sweetener. Okay, so I'm literally just gonna pour in our sweetener right into our egg yolk. So we're gonna go ahead and pour in our sweetener. Now we're gonna use a whisk, and the goal here is to turn our egg yolks that are really bright into a more of a pale yeller. The goal is to turn the egg yolks into more of a yellow pale color, okay? Since we're doing this by hand, it doesn't necessarily have to turn like a pale color. At the end of the day, you just wanna make sure that your sweetener is combined with your egg yolks. Like it's just really well combined. And now what we're gonna do is temper our eggs. So tempering your eggs is basically reaching the same temperature of both. So we have warm milk, we have cold eggs, or like room temperature eggs that are a little cooler than the milk. So what we wanna do is we want them both to reach the same temperature. Now, if your milk is too hot and you put your eggs in there that are obviously a lot colder, then it's gonna cook your eggs. Okay, so what we're gonna do is start mixing with one hand, okay? You can use your little whisk, and you're gonna pour just little by little. So I would say about a tablespoon, and we're gonna pour a little more. Mix that. This is actually how you temper, you've probably heard that term a lot with chocolate. This is how they do it. So for me personally, every time I've ever heard like creme brulee, I feel like, OMG, that just sounds way too hard because it's usually served at like fancy restaurants. But believe it or not, that's the extent of the custard. So it's literally heating up your milk, tempering your eggs, and now we're gonna go ahead and add it into our ramekins. The only thing is obviously you wanna make sure that your oven is preheated to 325 degrees. We are going to bake these in a water bath, and that is another crucial step. Like you don't wanna just bake these. Okay, and now we're gonna go ahead and fill our ramekins. I would say a little bit over halfway. This is totally up to you. I mean, you can obviously go all the way up or maybe just a quarter of the way. I'm just thinking that's a good size would be about half to three quarters of the way. We're gonna pour the hot water right into our baking dish, okay? So you just wanna make sure that these are covered about halfway. Just do not let the water go into your custard because it'll ruin it. So if you've never cooked with a water bath, the reason why you would definitely want to use it with this recipe is because it cooks evenly all around and then you end up with this smooth, creamy finish. It gives you like that velvety feel. So our oven's already preheated to 325 degrees and we're gonna cook this for about 30 to 40 minutes. I'm gonna show you what it should look like once it's done cooking, and then I'm gonna show you the final touch. This is our little secret. So we just wanna be careful, don't get any water into the custard. We're actually gonna let it cool before we move on to the next step, okay? So let's let these cool and we'll be back in about 20 minutes. So as you can tell, this is still a little jiggly, but it will set, so don't worry, you want a little jiggle. Alrighty, so these set for an hour in the fridge. Now, we obviously just let it set for an hour because we wanna, keep things rolling here, but the longer you let it set, the colder it's gonna be, the more solidified it's gonna be. So if you leave it overnight, perfect, but at least 1 hour, okay? So we have our sweetener here, and now we're gonna go ahead and finish this off. Okay, so we're just gonna top it with our sweetener. I'm gonna go ahead and do that for all of them. Beautiful. Okay, so it is a little clumpy, but in the oven, trust me, it is all going to melt. And I cannot wait to show you how this turns out. Since we don't have a blowtorch, we're going to use our broiler. We're gonna broil this for about 3 to 4 minutes. I'm gonna show you exactly what this is gonna look like. Let's go ahead and get these in. Wow, look at that. It's perfect. As these cool, this is gonna solidify. Okay, so obviously they turned out beautiful and perfect without a blowtorch. So happy about that. I was a little nervous, I'm not gonna lie, because I didn't know if it was gonna turn out, but they do have to set. So in order to get that nice little crisp, they have to cool, because it's never, ever, ever going to get that like that glass feel on top if it's warm. So those are cooling. Just to keep things rolling, we're gonna go ahead and do a taste test now. All right, guys, let's go in. Ooh, it looks like velvety smooth. All right, let's go. It's kind of just giving me like flan vibes. Wow, this is delicious, guys. Whoa. Okay, if you guys love creme brulee, this is obviously a dairy-free version. I'm obsessed with it. You could of course make it with the heavy cream and make it just like a regular version, but at least it's gonna be low in carbs and sugar-free, which at the end of the day, if you're living a low-carb lifestyle or you're just trying to make healthier choices, that's exactly what we want. Like imagine being able to have a creme brulee that is just a much healthier version than what you would order at restaurants. Because when you order at restaurants, you don't know the ingredients, you don't know how much sugar, you just know it's a lot and it's probably unhealthy. So guys, overall, this is a win-win. For me personally, I love creme brulee, and just having a dairy-free option that is sugar-free and low carb is just a win-win in my book. I cannot wait for you guys to try it. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave the recipe in the description below. Guys, if you like this video, make sure you hit the like button. Don't forget to share the channel and this recipe with friends and family that are living a low carb lifestyle, or maybe that would just absolutely love a healthier version that's low carb to a traditional creme brulee recipe. Thanks again for being here. I love you guys, and I will see you on my next video. Mwah. I'm legitimately gonna go and enjoy my creme brulee.